Hey car enthusiasts, and welcome back to the channel. If you're a fan of American automotive history, you're in for an absolute treat today. We're diving deep into the chrome-laden, tail-finned world of the 1950s to uncover 10 absolutely incredible American cars that somehow slipped through the cracks of history. Today, we're counting down 10 forgotten gems that deserved so much more recognition than they received. These aren't just cars, they're rolling time capsules that tell the story of American ingenuity, design excellence, and the dreams of a nation ready to embrace the future. Number 10. Nash Metropolitan, 1954 to 1957. Starting our countdown at number 10, we have a car that was absolutely revolutionary for its time, the Nash Metropolitan. Now, you might be thinking, wait, wasn't this car tiny? And you'd be absolutely right. But that's exactly what made it so special. Historical background. In 1954, when most American cars were getting bigger, heavier, and more chrome-laden by the year, Nash Motor Company took a completely different approach. They partnered with Austin Motor Company in England to create what was essentially America's first modern economy car. The Metropolitan was designed specifically for the growing suburban market, perfect for running errands, commuting to the train station, or taking a leisurely drive around town. Technical specifications. Under the hood, you'd find a modest but reliable 1.2-liter Austin A40 four-cylinder engine producing around 42 horsepower. Number 9. Kaiser Manhattan, 1954 to 1955. Coming in at number 9, we have a car that represented one of the most ambitious post-war automotive ventures, the Kaiser Manhattan. This was the flagship model from Kaiser Frazer Corporation, and it was absolutely loaded with innovative features that would become standard decades later. Historical context. Kaiser Frazer was founded right after World War II by industrialist Henry J. Kaiser, the same man who built Liberty ships during the war, and automotive executive Joseph Frazer. They saw an opportunity in the post-war car shortage and decided to take on the big three automakers with completely fresh designs. The Manhattan, introduced in 1954, was Kaiser's answer to Cadillac and Lincoln, a full-size luxury car that was supposed to establish Kaiser as a serious player in the premium market. Number 8. DeSoto Fiodome, 1952 to 1959. At number 8, we're diving into Chrysler Corporation's most underappreciated division with the DeSoto Firedome, a car that introduced one of the most revolutionary engines in automotive history and somehow still managed to fade into obscurity. The Hemi Revolution. The Firedome, introduced in 1952, was the first car to feature Chrysler's legendary Hemi V8 engine. This wasn't just another V8. The Hemi's hemispherical combustion chambers created a more efficient burn, resulting in significantly more power per cubic inch than anything else on the market. The original Firedome Hemi displaced 276 cubic inches and produced an impressive 160 horsepower in 1952. That might not sound laughable today, but it was absolutely cutting edge for the early 50s. Number 7. Tucker 48, 1948. At number 7, we have perhaps the most famous, forgotten car in American history, the Tucker 48, also known simply as the Tucker Torpedo. Now, technically, this car was introduced in 1948, but its influence and legend extended well into the 1950s, making it absolutely relevant to our countdown. The visionary behind the machine. Preston Tucker was an automotive visionary who saw the future of car design and decided to build it himself. After World War II, while the Big Three were basically reintroducing their pre-war designs with minor updates, Tucker was developing a car that was decades ahead of its time. Revolutionary design and safety features. The Tucker 48 introduced safety innovations that wouldn't become standard until the 1960s and 70s. The car featured a pop-out windshield designed to prevent injury during frontal impacts, a padded dashboard, a reinforced safety cage passenger compartment, and even seat belts, almost unheard of in 1948. 6. Mercury Turnpike Cruiser, 1957 to 1958. Coming in at number 6, we have one of the most outrageously styled cars of the entire decade, the Mercury Turnpike Cruiser. This was Mercury's attempt to capture the excitement of America's new interstate highway system in automotive form, and the result was absolutely spectacular. The Highway Revolution. The mid-1950s marked the beginning of America's interstate highway system, and car manufacturers were racing to build vehicles specifically designed for high-speed cruising. The Turnpike Cruiser was Mercury's answer to this new motoring reality, a car built for the open road. Distinctive styling. You could spot a Turnpike Cruiser from miles away thanks to its absolutely unique design features. The most distinctive element was the Skylight Dual Curve windshield, a massive curved windshield that wrapped up onto the roof, providing an almost aircraft-like view of the road ahead. Number 5. Nash Ambassador, 1955 to 1957. At number 5, we're featuring a car that represented one of the most successful independent automaker stories of the 1950s, the Nash Ambassador. This was Nash Motor Company's flagship model, and it packed some genuinely impressive innovations that were years ahead of their time. Company background. Nash Motor Company was one of the last successful independent automakers, competing directly with the Big Three through superior engineering and innovative design. The Ambassador was their halo car, designed to showcase Nash's technical capabilities and attract buyers to the entire Nash lineup. Revolutionary engine technology. The 1955-1957 Nash Ambassador featured one of the most advanced engines of its era, a 352 cubic inch V8 that Nash developed in partnership with Packard. Number 4. Studebaker Commander, 1953 to 1958. At number 4, we have a car that featured some of the most beautiful styling of the entire decade, the Studebaker Commander. This was Studebaker's mid-range offering, positioned between the Champion and the President, and it represented everything that made Studebaker special during their golden years. Design revolution. The 1953 Studebaker Commander introduced what many considered the most beautiful American car design of the 1950s. Styled by Raymond Loewy's design team, the Commander featured incredibly clean, European-influenced lines that made every other American car look overweight and overchromed by comparison. The car's proportions were absolutely perfect: long hood, short deck, elegant greenhouse, and minimal ornamentation. It was so beautiful that the Museum of Modern Art in New York acquired a 1953 Commander for their permanent design collection. Technical specifications. The Commander came with Studebaker's excellent 232 cubic inch V8, producing 120 horsepower in base trim. Number 3. Hudson Hornet, 1951 to 1957. Coming in at number 3, we have a car that absolutely dominated American motorsports during the early 1950s, the Hudson Hornet. This was Hudson Motor Car Company's flagship model, and it proved that innovative engineering could triumph over raw size and power. The step-down revolution. The Hudson Hornet introduced Hudson's revolutionary step-down design in 1948, which continued through 1957. This wasn't just a styling gimmick, it was a fundamental engineering breakthrough that changed how cars were built. Traditional cars of the era had high frames with the body mounted on top. Hudson's step-down design placed the passenger compartment down inside the frame rails, creating an incredibly low center of gravity and exceptional structural rigidity. Passengers literally stepped down into the car, hence the name. Performance engineering. The Hornet was powered by Hudson's legendary 308 cubic inch inline-six engine, the largest six-cylinder engine available in an American car at the time. Number 2. Packard Caribbean, 1953 to 1956. At number 2, we have what many consider the most beautiful American luxury car of the 1950s, the Packard Caribbean. This was Packard's flagship convertible, representing the absolute pinnacle of American luxury car engineering and design. The Packard legacy. Packard Motor Car Company had been America's premier luxury automaker since the early 1900s, competing directly with Rolls-Royce and other European luxury brands. The Caribbean, introduced in 1953, was Packard's attempt to recapture their pre-war glory and prove they could still build the finest cars in America. Exquisite design and styling. The Caribbean featured absolutely stunning styling that perfectly balanced elegance and sportiness. The car's proportions were flawless: long hood, short deck, elegant lines, and just the right amount of chrome. The Caribbean looked expensive because it was expensive. This was a car built without compromise. Number 1. Kaiser Darrin, 1954. And finally, at number 1, we have perhaps the most innovative and tragic forgotten car of the entire 1950s, the Kaiser Darrin. This was a sports car that was so far ahead of its time that the automotive world simply wasn't ready for it. The vision behind the machine. The Kaiser Darrin was the brainchild of legendary designer Howard "Dutch" Darrin, who had previously created stunning custom bodies for Hollywood stars and wealthy clients. Henry J. Kaiser, the industrial magnate behind Kaiser Fraser Corporation, commissioned Darrin to create America's answer to European sports cars like the Jaguar XK120 and Mercedes 300 SL. Revolutionary design. The Darrin featured the most distinctive design element in automotive history: sliding doors that disappeared into the front fenders. This wasn't just a gimmick, it was a practical solution that provided easy entry and exit while maintaining the car's sleek, unbroken silhouette.